In this podcast episode, financial expert Vivian Tu shares a candid discussion about the shrinking middle class, the challenges many face with financial insecurity, and the mindset shifts necessary to build lasting wealth. As a former Wall Street trader turned top personal finance podcaster and author of Well Endowed, Vivian offers actionable advice on strategic spending, financial planning, overcoming societal inequities, and the importance of mentorship. The conversation also delves into the realities of gambling disguised as investing, the emotional toll of money struggles, marriage and money dynamics, and the significance of building generational wealth. Vivian opens by addressing the grim reality of a shrinking middle class and an economic divergence that is increasing financial inequality. She describes a K-shaped recovery where a segment of society, referred to metaphorically as kings, is thriving, while many others face worsening financial hardship. The post-COVID economy has exacerbated this divide. White-collar professionals often prospered with remote work and rising asset values, while essential workers struggled with stagnating wages, health risks, and fewer opportunities. This divergence affects not only financial well-being, but lifestyle satisfaction, with many stuck in a B-plus life, comfortable enough to avoid change, but dissatisfied enough to feel unfulfilled. Vivian critiques the popularity of prediction markets, highlighting how they are essentially gambling masquerading as investing. She stresses that no matter the glamorization or the involvement of wealthy investors in these markets, they operate on luck with the house always winning. These platforms prey on financial desperation, offering illusionary quick fixes rather than sustainable wealth-building strategies. She warns against confusing such behavior with true investing and underscores the addictive nature of gambling, advising that gambling should only be seen as entertainment with money one can afford to lose. One of the key points Vivian emphasizes is the critical role of mindset in financial success. Wealth building requires a willingness to endure discomfort and embrace change, especially when leaving behind a good enough life. Many remain stuck in routine because change is scary, even though the growth needed to improve finances is often accompanied by pain and risk. She draws on the concept of a B-plus life, a state where dissatisfaction exists but not enough motivation to overhaul one's financial habits. Real growth, Vivian asserts, demands constant reinvestment in oneself, embracing setbacks and taking calculated risks over an extended period, much like a zigzag climb rather than a straight ascent. Vivian contrasts two archetypes: one person who suffers from financial struggles yet makes a purposeful plan, and another who perhaps feels motivated but fails to sustain any progress due to overwhelm or impatience. She advocates a realistic approach where goals are broken into manageable actions scheduled over time. This iterative planning, coupled with consistent recalibration, propels people towards milestones such as building an emergency fund, upgrading careers, leveraging employer benefits, and beginning investing, rather than attempting unrealistic overnight transformations. This methodical buildup is key to moving from scarcity to abundance. Vivian credits much of her personal growth and financial acumen to her mentor during her early career on Wall Street. This mentor was a figure of confidence, wealth, and sophistication who offered guidance beyond finance, including personal advice and tough love. Vivian recalls how this relationship helped her avoid costly mistakes and navigate complex financial and career decisions. The episode highlights the invaluable role of trusted mentors who provide not only knowledge, but accountability and encouragement, especially for those starting with limited resources or social capital. Growing up as a child of immigrants, Vivian shares how she frequently translated and advocated for her parents in financial and bureaucratic matters, witnessing firsthand the impact of language barriers and systemic discrimination on wealth accumulation. She underscores the importance of entitlement, not arrogance, but a confident expectation to thrive financially despite societal inequities. This mindset of entitlement to prosperity is a radical, empowering contrast to internalized scarcity or defeat. She also points out the persistent money-related anxieties that impact emotional well-being and relationships, noting that many struggle with money as a constant stressor that colors every aspect of life. Vivian discusses the critical difference between buying liabilities, items that lose value and drain resources, and investing in assets that generate income or appreciate over time. She explains how wealthy individuals strategically accumulate assets, such as rental properties, diversified investment portfolios, and collectibles, and use debt advantageously by borrowing against these assets rather than selling them, thereby minimizing tax burdens. This strategy, often summarized as buy, borrow, or die, leverages estate planning tools like trusts to preserve wealth across generations while maximizing financial flexibility. The discussion moves to marriage and money, reflecting on Vivian's own experiences planning a wedding and the importance of financial transparency in relationships. She emphasizes how couples often fail to discuss money early enough. Ideally, money should be talked about on the first date to ensure compatibility. Vivian strongly advocates for prenups, not as a sign of mistrust, but as protection from government-dictated outcomes and recognition of the unequal financial impacts pregnancy and household work often have on women. A prenup is a way to define fairness and ensure spousal support, safeguarding financial independence and respect within the marriage. Vivian frames generational wealth not merely as inherited riches, but as the transmission of financial knowledge and habits that sustain prosperity. She acknowledges that many resist or resent wealth held by others, even while yearning for it themselves, which undermines their ability to create it. She stresses the importance of setting clear financial goals, knowing personal strengths and weaknesses, and finding mentors. To prevent wealth dissipation, she recommends family financial education, structured allowances with taxes for children, and carefully designed trusts that incentivize responsible use of funds. Wealth education, she notes, is the true secret to lasting intergenerational financial security. Beyond individual finances, Vivian highlights the value of community in supporting financial and emotional health. She laments the loss of the favor economy, where neighbors routinely helped each other, which modern convenience apps have largely replaced. Strong social bonds foster mutual support and create a richer, more resilient life. Lastly, Vivian offers a dose of realism that life is not fair and some start at a disadvantage, but she encourages maintaining hope, setting goals, and using whatever motivation, whether petty grudges or deep conviction, to fuel persistence towards better outcomes. Vivian redefines greatness in the context of financial freedom and personal autonomy. It is the ability to choose where and how to devote time and energy without constraint by monetary concerns. For her, approaching financial goals is not about reaching $1 billion, but attaining the level of wealth that allows for unencumbered living, doing what she loves without drain or obligation. This freedom to show up fully at life on one's own terms is the highest measure of success, transcending mere numbers in a bank account.